What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and do yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to inform your family and friends of this news and information, and that does also help give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's now get into today's news. And in today's news, we are going to head over to Texas because, get this, recently a Colombian drug lord was arrested in Texas and handed over to ICE trying to seek asylum. Yes, a Colombian drug lord came to the United States seeking asylum. I wonder where he got the notion that that was a good idea. You let me know in the comment section. Now let's jump into this article first before we jump into a video clip concerning the situation. And I'm going to read from this article here titled "Colombian Drug Lord Arrested in Texas." Let's get into it. The second in command of a violent Colombian gang was arrested in Texas this week. Adurbis Perilla, 29 years old, one of the highest-ranking leaders of the Los Santanas gang, was arrested in New Braunfels, Texas on Tuesday. Perilla is wanted in Bogota, Colombia for ties to at least 4 murders, extortion, and drug trafficking, according to local news outlet News 4SA. Perilla's role within these organizations was to distribute pamphlets, collect extortion, and when they did not pay it, he obviously threatened or made an attack against the victims or their relatives, said Bogota prosecutor's office to local outlet Ken S5. Perilla fled Colombia and traveled through Central America to the U.S.-Mexico border to continue his extortion efforts, General Jose Daniel Calderon, commander of the Bogota Metropolitan Police, told the outlet. Perilla was apprehended by Homeland Security San Antonio in cooperation with state and local authorities, who turned him into custody of U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement. Now what I want to do next is get into a quick video clip that'll give us just a little bit more detail on this situation and what's going on concerning this gang leader. So let's jump into that clip right now.
Of a Colombian street gang, Los Santanas, has been arrested in Texas, where he was seeking asylum. Let that sink in. Colombian authorities confirmed that he was one of the 7 most wanted murderers in Colombia's capital.
He was one of the 7 most wanted murderers in the Colombian capital who came to the United States to seek asylum. Like I stated earlier, I wonder what gave him the bright idea that America was the place to come to seek asylum. I'll let you all answer that in the comment section. Let's get back into this video clip.
Yeah, Los Santanas is known for plaguing areas of Bogota, Colombia with extortion, murdering people who do not pay their demands, and they're also linked to drug trafficking. Fox Nation host and Fox News contributor Tyrus joins us now. Tyrus, do you have any doubt that these gang leaders see the open border as a business opportunity to set up shop in America?
Listen, this is the ending chapter. Like I don't understand how people won't see this. When the bosses are coming, everything's already set up. Everything's already in place. Now we're seeing the bosses come down because
that's something very interesting. I want to pause right there what he said. And I didn't really think about it like that. When the bosses come down, that means everything is already in play. The minions beneath them have already set up their operation so that now when the boss shows up, they can continue with their illegal operations that they were doing south of the border. That's a very interesting observation on his behalf. It's no different from if the president of the United States or the former president was coming to your home or place of business on the campaign trail. What would happen first is that Secret Service would come, sweep the home, sweep the place of business, and sweep the entire area to make sure that everything was safe and set up for the president to show up to your place of business or home. That's literally the same thing that you see these guys are doing here.
Their soldiers and their crews are all set up. He's not coming down there for vacation. He's seeking asylum because he's come to collect profits. We've been played. We are so far behind this. It's not even funny. The fact that the bosses of the gangs and the underlings, he's nobody. He's one of many. Another one will take his spot. that we don't know, that doesn't have information on them. They're just dumping in here. We're seeing it now and then we have our gangs and our young men who are lost. So then the new ones are trying to set up shop. So we're going to have gang fights, violence in the street with all this. So it's pathetic that they're acting like this is even this should be the worst possible case with the border situation that the bosses are coming across now.
Yeah, you bring.
And that's something that we can't lose sight of as well. Remember in my live stream on the, I believe the gang was called Tren de Aragua, right? The Venezuelan gang that is making its way towards New York and may potentially form an alliance with MS-13. We got that information via the FBI, and the FBI stated that even if they do make an alliance with MS-13, that alliance will most likely be short-lived and will break out into a turf war between the two. Now you're adding more gangs from other countries, this one being from Colombia, into play with all this. Our major cities could be looking at just complete havoc and mayhem in the coming future, but we'll have to see. Hopefully that's not the case. That is not something that I want to be right about. I'm hoping that I'm very wrong
with the border situation that the bosses are coming across now.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because we're used to MS-13 in this country, and now that there are other gangs from Colombia.
You think they're just going to be like, welcome?
Exactly. So what is going to happen? Could we see gang violence in the United States, especially in major cities?
Yep. It's already kind of starting. We're already starting to see it.
Turf wars. So Todd just did a ride along with ICE, and one of the people that ICE arrested, he was released from custody after, listen to this, being accused of raping a 12-year-old. He was released.
Yeah. And
what she's saying right there is something that's not new, that's been occurring, under this administration. I made reference to this video that I made not too long ago. I want to make reference to it again. It was of a migrant gang in New Jersey who was smuggling in illegal immigrants from the northern border, from the U.S.-Canadian border. And if I remember correctly, in that video, I discussed how when one of the members of the gang was caught smuggling illegal immigrants across the border, in the photo, you can see the trunk is open, and in the trunk of the SUV were children, right? Long story short, do you think he went to jail? No, the guy was released. Go figure. He was released, just like this gentleman here, just like the illegal immigrant, I should say, that she's discussing here, who AR'd a 12-year-old, I believe she said. He AR'd a 12-year-old and was just released. I don't understand how this is possible that violent illegal immigrant criminals who are found and caught in the act of just get released. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how this is actually happening.
And you hear of these shocking things every single day that should be major news, and at this point, it's kind of like, oh, it's every day ending in Y.
We crack a few eggs mentality of the administration and how we're seeing government is they just don't care about people, because their message and their narrative is more important. Yep. And how could that even imagine having to sign that release paper if you're an officer or clerk in the like to let that you're letting that go.
Imagine how the 12-year-old feels.
Watching him walk out the store.
He said concerning those in government, they just don't care about the people because their messaging and their narrative is more important. That is so true. There are a handful of stories that I've come across that I haven't had an opportunity to report on and make videos on yet, where here in California, Democrat lawmakers proposed a foolish nonsense bill that would make it so that violent illegal immigrant criminals can get protection from being deported. I don't understand what is this obsession with keeping them here once they've committed a violent crime. The moment you commit a violent crime, you have no business being here anymore. Now we can also argue because you crossed the border illegally, you never had any business being here. But now you're committing violent crimes and we're supposed to keep you here afterwards? It's not making any sense. I just don't understand how any of this is even possible in this day and age. It's beyond illogical, but it's happening. and it's going to continue to happen unless things change. So we'll see how that works out moving forward. We'll see how things change come November. And if they don't change, yeah, there's going to be a lot more stories like this coming to you soon. So with that, I want to thank you for watching today's video. Please hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And if you haven't already, please make sure you follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. And until the next video, peace. Have a great afternoon.